For today's grim adventure, we find ourselves once again in the heart of Hollywood, California, where today we're going to be talking about Hollywood legend Janet Leigh, who famously portrayed Marion Crane in Alfred Hitchcock's movie Psycho. It came out in 1960, and it's still terrifying today. We are starting this video off in front of a castle in the Hollywood Hills known as Castle Ivar. And real quickly, it has absolutely nothing to do with Alfred Hitchcock or Janet Leigh or Psycho. I just love it. Check out this dragon on the garage door. Man, that's cool. Even the windows and lights down here on street level are gorgeous. And true to Hollywood, this place really is a hidden gem. And the funny thing about it is you can actually see it from the highway as you drive through Hollywood. A lot of the videos on our channel are pulled from inspiration from places here in Hollywood, whether it be an historic landmark or street art, graffiti, if you will. But as beautiful as this place is, there's something else that has inspired this video. Last night, Jessica and I got to do something pretty amazing here in Hollywood. We got to see Psycho on the big screen at the Egyptian Theater, and afterwards they gave us this amazing poster. It says, Egyptian, Hitch, the original cinema influencer, and since June 9th they've been playing Hitchcock movies or movies that have been inspired by Alfred Hitchcock on the big screen. And we saw Psycho last night, and let me say this, I've seen Psycho countless times, but never on the big screen, and what a world of difference. We saw things in that movie that we didn't remember or we didn't see before, small details. But above all, there was just something magical about seeing a classic like that from 1960 on the screen. And that is what inspired this video. So today, we're going to be visiting the final resting place of Marion Crane and sharing something that we consider to be one of her most prized possessions. Of course, it has to do with Psycho. Right now, we're walking through a little hidden cemetery here in LA called the Pierce Brothers Westwood Village Memorial Park. And it's here where you'll find the final resting place of Janet Leigh, as well as a bunch of other celebrities. But before we walk back to her grave, I noticed something. At the time of recording this video, it is August 7th, which means the anniversary of Marilyn Monroe's death on August 4th, 1962, just happened. And you can actually smell all the flowers pretty much throughout the entire cemetery. But this is her final resting place and all the flowers that are near it. So many different wreaths. Cards, pictures. Marilyn Monroe, 1926 to 1962. Beautiful, right? Oh, it smells so nice too. Back up and try to take it all in. The sun is hitting in such a way. I'm going to try to keep my shadow out of the shot, but there is a flower arrangement here that says, Some Like It Hot Fan Club. The banner on this arrangement says Marilyn Remembered. And then the one right behind that, it says Immortal Marilyn Fan Club. You can see it on that red sash right there. I mean, look at all of that. It's something else. It's not too deep. It goes back maybe like a foot or two. I'm loving all the pictures. And I know you know all of the stories, that Hugh Hefner is actually entombed right next to her. So there's Marilyn's final resting place. And then behind the wreath over here, you can actually see Hefner's name. You see it? That is beyond beautiful. And trust me when I say we have done a couple different videos on this channel about Marilyn Monroe, and more to come. It's always Hollywood history. We love Hollywood history. But what we're looking for is Janet Leigh's final resting place, which is almost directly across the cemetery from her. They kind of look at each other. Marilyn Monroe's final resting place is right there about the center of your screen. If you look closely, you can see all the flowers. And like I said, Janet Leigh's final resting place is almost directly across the cemetery. Almost like they're looking at each other. I'm going to try to do this without making you dizzy, a little spin. There's the tree that we just showed when we introduced the cemetery. And just beyond that, let's see here. Right over there is where you'll find Janet Leigh. When it comes to Hollywood legends, Janet Leigh really did live the Hollywood life. I mean, the more you read up on her life and her career, it's pretty legendary, pretty iconic. Now, if you didn't know this, Janet Leigh is actually the mother of Jamie Lee Curtis, who played Laurie Strode in John Carpenter's Halloween. Now, out of everything that she's been in, the thing that we know her mostly from, well, here at the Grim Life Collective, is the role of Marion Crane in Hitchcock's Psycho, which came out in 1960. And her final resting place is in this cemetery over in this nice little grotto. She died October 3rd, 2004. She was 77 years old. And if I'm not mistaken, when she passed in her Beverly Hills home, I think the cause of death was vasculitis. She was cremated, and her ashes were entombed right over here. This cemetery is like a hidden gem, and there's a lot of famous people buried here. Heather O'Rourke from the Poltergeist series, Betty Page, Florence Henderson from the Brady Bunch is right here. In fact, right down this way is where you'll find the final resting place of Janet Leigh, along this back wall. We've actually done quite a few different videos inside this cemetery. Marilyn Monroe's here, Robert Stack from Unsolved Mysteries, and then right here, Janet Leigh Brandt, 1927 to 2004. She's actually buried with her last husband. Very simple. So here we are at the final resting place of Janet Leigh, Marion Crane from Psycho. And as promised, one of our most prized possessions is this Laserdisc right here of Hitchcock's Psycho. And it's signed by Janet Leigh. You can see it up here in the corner. Let's get a little closer to it. Janet Leigh. And typically it would say something like psychotically, but this one's psychotically yours, Janet Leigh. We have a lot of signed records and laser discs, but this one here, this is like a holy grail to us, especially if you're a fan of Hitchcock himself. We don't have any autographed Hitchcock items, but this is pretty amazing. And the fact that it's here next to her, it's pretty cool. Like living in Hollywood, it's because of things like this that we love. This is why we're here. If you ever get the opportunity to see Psycho on the big screen, you have to do it. There's just something magical about it. Just something that, I know you've seen Psycho, but watching it on the big screen is like watching it for the first time. Amazing. And with that being said, thank you for everything, Janet Leigh. especially for playing the role of Marion Crane in Alfred Hitchcock's Psycho so well. I mean, come on, the shower scene, one of the most iconic scenes in horror history, and it's because of you. So thank you. Now, of course, I have to mention Jack Klugman is right next to her. I'm sure you noticed that. Last time we were out here, we were doing a video on Alfred Hitchcock himself, and so many people said, you breezed right past him. You didn't even show Jack Klugman's final resting place. He was from The Odd Couple, a very beloved character. And the reason we didn't do that is because, well, it was a video on Hitchcock. So this is us acknowledging him. And of course, he's right next to Janet Leigh. Like I said, it's a very star-studded, star-filled cemetery, if you will. I feel like at this point in our YouTube career, we've visited a lot of famous graves here in Hollywood. And trust me when I say there's going to be a lot more. It's just something we love to do. It's kind of in our name, Grim Life Collective. But with that being said, thank you for joining us on another grim adventure, this time into the world of Psycho and Janet Leigh. Until next time, happy Halloween. Boom.